gosh, you
I,
didn't get the memo
one
the
wasn't
first
enough.
time.
Yeah, one wasn't enough. I thought I'd go for two and really get the message with you. And I
So,
was sleeping 22, 23 hours a day.
wow.
Western medicine totally rejects you and says there's nothing wrong with you.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lucy Davis, and today I am joined by the absolutely beautiful Hayley Miller, who I had the privilege of meeting a few months ago now. I can't believe how quick the time's gone, by the way, in London at a seminar. And Hayley and I think we met on the last day, didn't we? Or it was very, very close to the end of the seminar, and we just connected so deeply. Hayley was sharing a bit of a healing journey with me, and the fact that she has written a book that is actually going to be released in November.
November the 1st, yeah.
On November the 1st, 111, can't go wrong with those dates. And so I asked Hayley to come on and talk to me about her healing journey and also share her beautiful book with us. But unfortunately, then I was sick. Hayley got sick. Hayley's been traveling. I've been traveling, and it's been taking quite a long time for us to actually lock this down. So here we are, eventually, exactly in divine timing. And we are going to sit down today and just go quite deep into Hayley's journey and what really created her this gorgeous drive to create a book that's going to help change so many people's lives. Welcome, Hayley.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's so lovely to see you. I
Oh,
can't believe how many months have passed, can you?
I know, it wasn't meant to happen any sooner than this, was it?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So Hayley, we only found out the other day that we live really closely.
Literally down the road from each other,
It's
pretty much.
so bizarre. It's
Yeah.
so bizarre. So, we obviously had such a deep connection at that seminar, and we hit it on a level of healing and obviously spirituality, things like that. But then obviously since then, the more we've spoken, the more we're like, hang on a minute, we both love horses. We both live down the road
Yeah.
from each other. Like it's just really intriguing the way that things have come about. So clearly it was a divine connection. This absolutely needed to happen. And you blew me away in London with regards to your healing journey. I've had a wild healing journey and my followers know that, but hearing yours was just really, really incredible. And I'd love for you to share some of that with us today.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think when we met, our connection was instantly met because we just could see that in each other. Obviously slightly different ways, but yeah. So when I was 18, my healing journey began with ME. I was diagnosed with ME, and I think I spent the first year of that just absolutely knocked out, and I had nowhere to turn but inside because Western medicine, not that I was a fan of it even back then, but Western medicine totally rejects you and says there's nothing wrong with you. And I was sleeping 22, 23 hours a day
Wow.
for nearly a year. And my concept of time had disappeared. So because I was only awake for such a small amount of time, um, it was sort of one of those things where I was just like, oh my goodness, it's been a few weeks since, I last spoke about this with my mum or whatever it was. And it actually been 3 months rather
Wow.
than 3 weeks. So my concept of time had just disappeared.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, I
Must
just
be
had
so
to,
scary, Hayley.
oh, I was so scared, and at a really difficult age to be that
Yeah,
ill. I
because
know
you
there's
wouldn't go
no
out.
easy age, is
No,
there?
I know, but at least I'm not being derogatory when I say this, but at least if you were 12, like you wouldn't be missing out on going out with your friends, being able to drive, all of the things that we like I took for granted when I was 18, just being able to do these things really simply. How did you cope with that from a mental health perspective?
I actually think that the reason that I slept so much was for my own protection. And
Oh,
I think there's a huge, huge spiritual link with sleep. And I've written about this. I think it's almost like when we sleep, we go off to those realms, and it's like we sort of have that pep talk that we need, like the half time in a football match.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you go back to your coach and everything makes
Get
sense and
your
you get
oranges.
your direction. That's it, yeah. And then you come back here to play out that game, live out that that life. And I think that's why I was put in sleep, because not everyone with ME is like that. Some people are just fatigued during the day and they may sleep more, but they just can't move as much. And mine was just this complete unconsciousness.
Wow. So
And I,
what did they actually put it down to at the time? Do you remember?
well, they didn't and they couldn't. And
Right.
so this was like one of the scariest things because, of course, you know, it, it's almost like you've been brought up and fed to believe whatever the doctors say and whatever they say is right.
Yeah.
And when they go, well, we don't know,
That's scary, isn't
like, yeah, it was almost, I mean, I'm so blooming thankful for it now because could you imagine if I got carted down the medical route, which it just doesn't mix for me.
it? Yeah.
And um, no one would ever sort of look at ME as being anything other than something that no one knows about, a
Yeah.
mysterious disease. I mean, they used to call it yuppie flu,
Yeah.
which was basically that you were making it up because you were lazy.
Yeah.
And I was ever so lucky because my doctor had known me for years. And so there was absolutely no way that he was thinking that this was just me
Being
putting something
lazy.
on.
Yeah.
And
You're
yeah,
right, though. It must be very difficult for people to express, when all of a sudden they're overwhelmingly fatigued, especially like these now moments where the energies are fatiguing us. Everything is really, really taking its toll on our physical body. But to have that excess of literally not being able to do anything, it would be very easy for a doctor to be like, oh, get a grip.
yeah, absolutely. And of
Wow.
course, I think even more so when it's people are just like lazing about on the sofa, say lazing about,
Yeah.
obviously not resting, but when you're asleep, it's a little bit different because you're like, well, you can't just make yourself sleep.
No, I certainly can't.
Yeah, that is your body
Yeah.
telling you need rejuvenating in some
Absolutely.
way.
And so how long did this go on for?
So it was a proper year like that. And it was in between my AS and A2 levels.
Right.
So it was actually just over a year, I think. And I then went and did my second, because like missing a year of school is a pain, your friends, your everything else. So I was back a year already. And I was like, I'm not being back 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it. So I
Yeah.
studied as much as I could from home and then got my A levels. And then I decided to go to university
Yeah.
for a rest. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? And so it just meant that because with university, obviously studying you can do in your own time. You're not on this 9 to 5 clock. So I was like, do you know what? I can work with that. I will work with that. And over that then 4 years in total, I was gradually getting better and worse, learning what to do and what not to do.
Okay, what did you study at uni?
I studied law.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did you enjoy
yeah.
it?
I loved it. I
Mate.
loved learning about it. Um, but if all really, I just wanted to learn about it. I never wanted to go into it.
Yeah. Well, it's quite a cutthroat environment, isn't it? It's quite, competitive. It's quite a masculine environment. Probably all of the things that now you're like, what? I mean, I look back at me working on the trading floor. I'm like, why? How? People say to me, if I gave you £1 million, would you go back for a day? And I'm like, no, absolutely
Not
not.
worth
Like,
it.
I couldn't last an hour, let alone a day. It would just be very, very bizarre. So, wow. So you're in this environment, you're completely depleted, you're excessively fatigued to the point that you're sleeping 22, 23 hours a day. Probably your family were like, what the heck is wrong with her? The
Yeah.
doctors, your school, your friends were like, what's going on? Because it's not common, is it? You don't, I mean, I've only ever heard of one other person other than you having it
Yeah.
in my 46 years of being alive, you know. So the fact that I've only heard of two people now with it is unbelievable.
Yeah. It is unusual. I think there are links to obviously ME is also known as chronic fatigue, but there's links to post-viral syndrome, which is, you know, when you're just like ill after you've been ill.
Yeah.
There can be a lot of that, and fibromyalgia.
Yes.
They're all of that family. People have heard of those ones a bit more, but ME is yeah, it was a very unusual thing to
Yeah.
have, and no one understood it.
Now, obviously, I know because I've got to know you that you're very linked to the emotional side of things. You're very linked to the energetic side of things now. I don't think you were back then, were you?
Not at all.
No. So, what's fascinating is whilst you've been talking, all that's been coming through to me, and I've never researched this, by the way, but all that keeps coming through to me is you literally didn't want to deal with life, so you had to go to sleep. You literally put yourself in an induced state. And
Yeah,
it's very much the same with fibromyalgia, but with fibromyalgia, feel like you're in so much pain that you physically create the pain. So with you, what I'm feeling is that you were so like, I just can't cope with this. So the best thing that I can do is go sleep.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
And
think
it's
it wasn't it something took over that.
yeah,
It
of
wasn't
course.
my decision
No,
to, yeah,
of
it was
course.
literally like a you have to do this. You
Yeah.
have
And I think that what you've just said there is a really important point that we need to just highlight. None of this is conscious.
no.
You don't wake up one day and go, I don't like my life. I'm just going to go to sleep for the next year. That's not what happens here. Your body goes, I am not coping.
Yeah,
You are keep on pushing. Now I've got to give you something to stop you or slow you down or whatever. And that, in my opinion, is with any dis-ease within the body, whether it's cancer through to ME, through to fibromyalgia, through to autoimmunes, whatever it is, there is an emotional reason behind it. It's just you don't understand it.
absolutely. And like I've learned over the years, especially with that process, obviously. And I remember just promising whatever it was out there. I didn't know what it was, but anything that if it would help me recover, I would do anything. And this is why I promised I'd put the book out.
And
So,
what's the book called?
so it's called The Guiding Star System.
The Guiding Star System, and it's out on the 1st of November.
It is.
So is it premised off of your first healing journey or the whole of your healing journey? Because I know you've had another healing journey since, right?
I
Because you
have.
didn't get the memo
One
the
wasn't
first
enough.
time.
Yeah, one wasn't enough. I thought I'd go for two and really get the message.
So should we talk about the second one and then come back to the book?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So my first one, sort of, I was very young, don't forget, you know, 18 around those uni phases, you're still learning who you are and
Yeah.
finding all this stuff out. And all I wanted to do was get physically better enough that I could lead a normal life. That's all I wanted. It was my only thing. I want to live a normal life like everyone else can. And so then I went into this, okay, I'm better now. And now I hated being in such a vulnerable situation. And I was obviously worried about money. I was worried about being able to look after myself. I felt so unsafe whilst I was in that situation. And I'm just like, I'm never going to be in that again. So then I went into like serious work mode to make sure that I was okay.
Overcompensate for what you've missed out on and
Absolutely. Yeah, all of that, you know, make up for lost time or whatever it is. And yeah, and so then I ended up having a second healing and just huge dark night of the soul, life realignment. That came with stage 4 endometriosis, divorce, loss of home, loss of most of my friends, and lockdown all at once.
and how old were you?
How old was I then? 31, 32.
Wow. So
Yeah,
again, a really impressionable age.
yes. And it was, I think I had spent those years doing exactly what society had told me was the thing to be doing. You know, get the beautiful house, get married, start this life. And it was like the worst age for that to probably be all taken away from you,
Especially during lockdown.
especially during lockdown. Lockdown for me, though, came as the most humongous blessing.
Yeah.
Um,
I think actually that's probably the consensus across the board now, but at the time, I imagine when you were like being stripped of everything that you know, there was probably at the time a moment of just let me have a bit of something that I'm used to, you know.
yeah, absolutely. And it was, I mean, it was a huge transitional period for me. And it then made me do all of the things that I never thought I'd do, all the face all those things that I was like petrified of.
Love that.
Um, and it was great. So I ended up, obviously, I when I was ill the first time, computers and the technology we have now were not around. Yes, I am that old.
No, you're not. No,
I
you're not.
am that old, but yeah. So I'd kept a scrapbook
I
of
love
all the
that.
things that I was doing to make me better, how it was working, and it covered everything other than the emotional side, which I was, of course, avoiding at all
Of
costs. I
course.
can't do anything other than that stuff. It's all rubbish, you know.
Scary. It's scary.
Yeah. And so, yeah, then I'd actually, during the fact that I was then moving and all the rest of it, discovered this scrapbook again. And I was like, I promised I would put this out.
Love
And
that.
then, of course, it grew. It turned into this whole, I'm going to write a proper book of all of this, but then everything else I've learned. But I'm also starting the book with questions because I certainly have not got all the answers. I'm here again. My whole life has been turned upside down. Let's go on this journey. And I think I probably took 4 years where I traveled anywhere and everywhere I wanted all by myself. I took my pencil, I've got my lucky pencil that I wrote the whole book with, and my
It's still
notepad.
going strong.
Yeah, oh yeah, still going strong. It might. Oh no, it's not actually there. I can get you a picture of my pen and my pencil. Sorry, that's been with me. But yeah, and I wrote the whole 80,000 words first of all in pencil round the world in this book, and it sort of became this. It was a huge, huge part of my healing
Love that.
because what I hadn't realized was like the emotional side of stuff that I'd avoided doing. You know, you can eat the best diet, you can exercise, you can rest, you can do whatever you want. And I'm not saying it doesn't help, hugely does, but until you tackle what's been creating it and release that energetically, you're fighting a losing battle.
Exactly. And I'm so glad that you said that, Hayley, because this is the thing. Everybody will connect to the physical. Everybody will connect to maybe there's something out there. But when it's like I've got to face my demons within, everyone runs for the hills. I did it for many years. I kept being battered with the same issue. It's not going anywhere, Lucy. You've got to face it. And now, like we spoke about just before we came on live, that thank God I'm able to sit here and say there's been nothing since 2018, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank God I kept my womb and and now you are a shining example of the fact that, yeah, I did the physical stuff. I did what I needed to do. I came back stronger and then I got taken out again because I had missed the fundamental piece of the puzzle. And I think this is such a beautiful message that you deliver, Hayley, is you can run, but you cannot hide from what is going on within. And when you just stop, you take a moment, put your hand on your heart, and you just go, right, I am going to look at me square in the mirror, and I know I'm not going to like what I see, but I'm willing to go there. That's when the gold happens. That's when the shift happens, and that's when you take your true power back.
Yes. And it, for me, because I'd rejected it so incredibly hard, I think I'd made a subconscious promise that and sort of lie to myself that if I'd set myself up financially or and I'd made myself feel safe, that that would be everything. I would then be okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's when it came to get me. The minute I was like, oh, well, I'm not struggling all the time now. I've sort of got to a point where I'm okay. And then it was just that was it.
Yeah.
Round.
So what happened with your second journey? Obviously, like the divorce, very sad. I know you feel free from it now, luckily. It's not a regret that you've got there. What about the endometriosis side of things? Like how did that progress?
So that I think was actually the key to all of my healing. And that's where the energy was. And I'd struggled with bad period pains since I'd first had a period. And the doctors had then, obviously, no one really knew what endometriosis was when, however long ago that was. And they immediately, if ever you've got an issue with anything period wise, put you on the pill or they
Yeah,
put you on
I
hormone.
remember.
So they were actually then feeding me more of the hormone that I had an excess of. So whilst it was just creating more blockage.
Whilst masking the symptoms, right? Which is the dangerous piece.
Yes, but not masking them well enough. So I still knew something was wrong. It didn't feel right to me. My body wasn't reacting right. And they kept changing the pills. They kept, it never like, let's take you off this and see what's actually the problem.
Yeah.
It was let's cover it all up and try and patch you up so you can go and live in society and live under those rules again. And it got worse and worse and worse. And then the stress, I think, of me being so misaligned in my life, with what I was doing, like life purpose, if you like, the relationship, the dynamics of that. And it was all to do with my ability to express. And I just didn't have that.
Yeah.
And it's ironic, and I'm so thankful for it now. I'm not saying I'm fully over it. I'm in round two of this, but the first thing I did, of course, was write. And that's such a beautiful form of expression. And it was that gave me those tools and that power in writing what was then like my truth down on pencil and paper in my little
Love
book.
that.
And
I,
it
I encourage people to journal all of the time. And people think, oh, she's just telling us to journal. It's not about that. Like you just said, it's an expression. It's getting it out of you without physically having to talk about it. And it's such a gift, isn't it?
Yeah. And of course, to start with, I was like, all you got to do, Hayley, is write the book. That's it, sit down, write the book, and then it's done and you don't have to do anything else. And of course, now I was like, well, I've written the book. Oh, I've got to talk about it now.
I need to
I've,
speak.
yeah, I've actually got to use my voice. Let's learn how to do that.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
This is
it put me on a
amazing.
real journey, but
So I think it's a bit extreme to say what I'm about to say, but I'm actually going to say it because I resonate with this, but just in a very, very different way. It sounds to me as if you're kind of saying that ME and endometriosis actually saved your life.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And if I had have stayed, it's really a line that you've said those words. If I'd have stayed in that situation, that relationship, that all the rest of it, I think I'd have been dead by now.
Wow.
Actually do. I think it would have my it would just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Do you know,
Yeah.
Hayley, it's so fascinating that you say that because I give gratitude every single day for the fact that I was so poorly, for the fact that they tried to take my womb on God knows how many occasions. And I am so thankful every day. And I know these things have saved me.
Yeah. And at the time you can never envisage saying those words that
No,
we've just said.
no,
Like, thank you for that. Because it's not easy.
no.
And it's, or the spiritual journey is so beautiful and it's so wonderful and easy when everything's going well.
Walk
Then
in the park,
it's
mate.
not. And you're like, oh my, I was like, oh dear me, I've written about this. I've got to practice what I preach now. That's a lot harder. But that's part of it. And you genuinely do get to see the beauty in
Absolutely.
the struggle.
And I imagine there's thousands of women out there that will see this video and be like, how can you be thankful for tumors? How can you be thankful for endometriosis? How can you be thankful for ME? Like, are you two women absolutely bonkers? And the answer is probably yes,
Yeah,
because I truly believe that I was gifted this to heal, to help other people heal. And I truly believe it's the same for you, Hayley, which is why in London your story blew me away and I connected so deeply with you because what a gift to meet somebody else who has been through absolute shit and they have surfaced as an earth angel ready to show other people how to do the work and how to do the healing. To me, that's gold.
absolutely. And it is, and it's made me like, when you find like purpose in life again and
Yeah.
just everything has meaning. It's, I mean, if that's not the greatest gift you can be given, I don't know what is.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that for you so much. So, Hayley, talk to us about your book.
Okay, I will. So it's called the Guiding Star System, and I love stars. So I've always been drawn to them. They're on my logos. I've got little tattoos of them. They've always been a part of my life. And I read a book it was by Louise Hayes, and it's called How to Heal Your Life.
Yeah.
And it's such an iconic book. And it's so simple and beautiful. And one of the things that my main takeaway from that was like, when you're trying to look for these signs, and I was always was trying to build my understanding of self and who I was and what I liked and what I wanted to do. So I was so lost. And she spoke about rainbows for her, I think it was, and how they were her little sign.
Love
And
that.
every time she saw one, she'd really dwell in the beautiful rainbow. And it may be on, a little kid's wellies as they walk past, or it may be a beautiful rainbow in the sky, but anything. So I picked stars.
Yeah, love that.
That's always my thing that when I see them, it reminds me I'm on track. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. All those great things. And it just so happened that the book didn't have a title. I knew it would obviously have a star on it somewhere, but it didn't have a title. And I'd written it. And as I was taking it from the handwritten notebooks that I'd done, I realized there were actually 5 sections to it that make up the star.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
so it's each prong of the star
Love
is counts for a section, and that is fuel, movement, rest, outside world, and inside world.
that.
And they all obviously meet at a point, and then that's led by the internal. So
Beautiful.
your fuel is still led by your internal. And if you can
Absolutely.
get that system, that that's gonna get you where you need to get.
I love that. It's really weird. I'm listening to you and I'm like, wow, your book sounds like my self-love club program. So
Oh,
my
does
self,
it?
we were talking about this little dude that I won.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The program that I won this for is called Self-Love Club, right? And I
Oh,
basically identified 7 areas, although there's more than that, but there's 7 key areas that we need to face for our healing journey. And it was all premised off of my healing journey. So it's just wild. I'm listening to you and I'm like, this
nice.
is amazing. I love this so much. I love the concept of it. I love the fact that all these points come into the middle of the star. I think that's such a beautiful way of explaining it. And so people can actually connect with the illustration because obviously we all need different things to be
Yeah.
able to connect. And I just think that that is so gorgeous. I can't wait to read it.
Oh, thank you.
Wait, I expect a signed copy though.
Of course. And I can hand deliver it because we've discovered you're only up
I
the road.
know. And I'm going to give you a copy of my book because I think you're going
Oh,
to
I'd
read my
love
book.
that.
My book's here. I'll give it to you. It's called From Head to Heart. I'll give you a copy of it. Honestly, Hayley, I think you're going to read it and be like, this is weird. Like,
Are we the
how
same
similar our
person?
journeys are. Like, what the heck? How have we met just now? Like, but I think you'll really enjoy that as well. And I can't wait to read yours. So, Hayley, what is the best? Obviously, that we know the book's not out till the 1st of November. So, how do people find you? How do people get can you pre-order? Like, talk to us
Yes,
about that.
absolutely. So I've got it's the guiding star system on everything. So that's Instagram, which I'm most active on. And I've just got a grid up there that I've just finished, and it's got little videos on each of those sections, giving a little explanation. There's links on that to the website, which is theguidingstarsystem.com, and that's got a pre-order
Perfect.
mailing list, so you can put your email in there. I've got to learn how to use it yet, so, so don't expect
Kind of
any
anyway.
communication immediately. No. Um, Same on, yeah, there's a Facebook page. Just started a little YouTube channel. There's like 2 videos with about 3 views on there. So
Love that.
anyone wants to go and have a look at those. And I've just started TikTok as well, and it's all the guiding star system.
Guiding star system, amazing. So, ladies and gents, I mean, I think that everybody should be getting a copy of this book. By the sounds of it, it sounds absolutely amazing. I would encourage all of you to get on this. I know everybody that follows me absolutely loves healing, and I really do think that your journey, you know, as similar as it is to mine, and this is what I love about it. Like, I've helped thousands of people around the world with my journey, Hayley. So I'm really excited to watch you do exactly the same, and it's so deserved. There are so many of us out there with things that we've healed, that we've recovered from, and we just don't share that wisdom forwards. And this is the time for wisdom. We must be sharing it with our loved ones, with our friends, with our family, so they can share it forwards. And this is how we're going to change the world.
No, and thank you so much for like you having the bravery to put your stuff out, because like
Oh,
me seeing that is it's such an inspiration, and
oh,
you've sort of paved the way, and your I mean your journey's been incredible. I think we literally said 2 words like hi, and then we were in the depths of this conversation that it was like this is too familiar. Like
yeah.
we're right in the depths of
I know.
of the
We
conversation.
had no superficial chat at all because when you said,
Literally
like,
none.
I didn't know how old you were. I didn't know where you lived. We just went boom straight in, which just goes to show how safe we felt with each other, which is really beautiful. It's not often that you meet people that you're ready to like jump into the trenches with immediately. So I really, really appreciate your vulnerability in London. And I'm grateful that we met. I'm grateful that we connected. And I'm really excited if there is anything that I can do to help you at all. And I'd love to have you on again to talk about women's health. I was talking before we came on, I'm going to be doing something probably in the next 6 months or so, much more focused around women's health. And I would love to get you involved in that, Hayley, because I just think, yes, I've got a massive journey around fertility, around hormones, around tumors, around digestive issues. I've got all of these things going on, but you bring in another element of it. Like, I'm very lucky. I never had endometriosis, never got a diagnosis of that. Like, but I do know the energetics around endometriosis because a lot of people come to me with it and all sorts of different things. And I just think if we can start nailing some of these topics so that women can go, ha, that's what I need to do, or ha, this is the starting point to look at the emotions, then what a gift we can give to the world.
I would be honored to be a part of that. And I mean, to be able to spread this message and this word like together would be incredible. So thank you.
I'm very much a big advocate of partnerships and teamwork and stuff. So, yeah, very, very keen to do that. Ladies and gents, you know exactly how to find Hayley from here. So, thank you very much for watching. And, Hayley, thanks for your vulnerability. I really appreciate it. There is going to be so many people out there that have listened to this. They're going to be heartbroken. They're going to be emotional. They're going to have excitement, the fact that maybe, you've got the answer to what they're looking for what's been going on with them. And I just want to again say I wish you every success with your journey with this.
Thank you. Thank you. Bless you.
It's lovely to see you, babe.
Bye.